Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm wearing this what I call poo coloured top. I don't know why I had to mention that straight away, but anyway, this video is going to be one huge review video of my time at university and reviewing obviously me being at Cambridge. It's going to be quite hard to review 3 years in one video. However, I'm going to try and attempt to do just that for you guys in this video. Share as much as possible about me having studied at Cambridge, studied natural sciences, biological natural sciences, and be as open and honest as possible. I am going to obviously talk about the positives and then some of the negatives and some of the stuff that I've never mentioned online before, just because I think that constructive criticism is always a good thing. Like, I should say first of all that it's exceeded my expectations. I never thought I'd have such an amazing time, worth every penny that I spent on that degree. However, there are some things that I would have changed about the course or the university, and I think it's only fair to mention those things. So Cambridge has this huge reputation. It's one of, yes, your top universities in the world. However, no university, no matter how good it is, no matter how high in the rankings it is perfect. I also think that even though universities can have amazing reputations and they can be very well known, I think education, a lot of it is what you make of it. Yes, I'm sitting here and I've been to Cambridge and I am incredibly lucky. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to study there, but going to Cambridge or going to this top university is not the be all or end all. You can really make the most of your education wherever you are. I truly believe that. So yeah, I'm gonna jump straight in because I have a lot I want to share and talk about, and I'm probably going to start with the academic side of it, and obviously this will be very specific to my subject, doing a science subject, doing biology. So first year for me was hard, yes, in terms of the content. Like, the jump from A-level to university is a very big jump and it hit me hard. However, I'd say what is harder about first year for me as a bio-natski is that the number of contact hours you have, it's ridiculous. It's almost too much, and you really do feel as if you're drowning, just because you have full-on days, because you have about 2 to 3 hours of lectures every day, Monday to Friday, including Saturday. The weekend lectures are a thing if you are a Natski, and on top of that it takes a lot of time and mental capacity to actually organise everything and organise your schedule and timetable. Once it's in place, it's fine, but then you go for 8 weeks and then it has to reset again for the next term. You take 4 modules, hence why you have 4 supervisions per week. The work that we were set would include like short answer questions, calculations if it was maths, and essays, because the modules that I specifically did were biology of cells, evolution and behaviour, earth sciences, and maths for biologists. Biology of cells was definitely my favourite module, just because it's like very much biology, cell biology, microbiology. I loved that. There were some bits I didn't like, but the majority of it was the course that I'd really looked forward to studying at university as a biologist. Then evolution and behaviour speaks for itself. It's all about evolution. You do a bit of human evolution right at the end. I don't know how I really feel about evolution and behaviour. I think that was the one that I didn't really enjoy, just because I had kind of a bad experience with supervisions. I wasn't in the right supervision group at the start. I wasn't with people I really knew, and I'm really anxious in those situations anyway, and I was very shy, and things didn't go too well. And I think because of my supervisions in that module, I didn't really feel as if I enjoyed that module that much. And then I did earth sciences, which isn't like biology, it's very much geology. However, I'm so glad I did it. Who is doing the hoovering? Who's hoovering? No.
I
thought you were hoovering.
And I'm not hoovering, I'm emptying the air out of
I know, but
it's sucking the air out, darling. It makes a bit of noise.
that's fine. Little break. Yeah, just like meant my course had this extra dimension to it that I never actually anticipated, but that is one of the benefits of doing natural sciences over like a straight biology course. You get to explore and really find what you enjoy. And then finally I did maths for biologists. Obviously as a Natski you have to take a maths course, it's essential, and most biologists will do the maths for biologists. To summarise it, well, I cried coming out of the first ever practical session using this program called MATLAB. However, at the end of the year, like, we had this practical assessment for MATLAB and the other program called R that we used, and I somehow got full marks. That was like my first and only ever 100% at Cambridge. I don't even know how that happened. I thought A-level maths was hard enough. This was on a whole new level because it was like really hard maths mixed with biology concepts, and it was just like mind-blowing. But we got through it and we didn't have to do maths the next year. So once you do first year NATSCI, you can literally take on anything, is what I think. And then in first year, assessment wise, most of it was exams. I had 6 exams, I think, and then some of the practicals, like for EMB and maths, were assessed. So then moving on to the second year, this was when I discovered that I really loved my subject. I honestly loved biology and I just fell in love with it. I did 3 modules that year. The contact hours dropped. You still had lectures, labs and supervisions, but you only had 3 supervisions a week because you had 3 modules, so it kind of makes sense. I did neurobiology, I did cell and developmental biology, and pathology or biology of disease. I loved them all. I was so happy with my choices. For cell and developmental biology in particular, I had the most incredible supervisor ever, so amazing. And then I did neurobiology, which was a last minute swap from biochemistry. I'm so glad I made that decision. It was like been one of the best decisions of my life. So yeah, neurobiology, 100% love that because some of the concepts you learn about were very different and hard to get your head around, but it was just so cool. I'd learned about the nervous system at school and I really liked it, but this was on a whole new level. It was a bit of psychology in there, which I'd never done. Also, the supervisor for that module was again amazing and like so welcoming. After I like swapped to neurobiology, there was no sort of tension, even though I was a bit late starting. And then the final module, biology of disease, I loved that module again. Those supervisions we had were like at someone's house, and those were quite strange experiences, like with cats in the supervisions. Loved the content. The only thing I can say was bad about that module, which I complained so much about, was the MCQs, the multiple choice questions that had like negative marking in it. Oh my gosh, like they were so hard and just annoying, frustrating. You had to know everything to the T, like every tiny detail. I think they've kind of changed the marking scheme a bit now, but I don't think it's any better, to be honest with you. I think it's worse, but I still recommend the module. It's great. You learn about such cool stuff. I think I counted the amount of exams I did the other day. It was 8, I think, so a lot of exams. Yeah, everything was exam based in second year. Okay, let's move on to third year. I'm gonna drop some bombs about my third year essentially. So yeah, my third year was very different. It went from everything to literally nothing. So first and second year, very full on in terms of contact hours, and then it went to third year where contact hours are very minimal. So for a science student, that is quite a shock to the system. I didn't go to hardly any supervisions. I went to probably about five or 6 across the whole year, whereas in like first and second year I'd have like 4 a week. It was just very different, and you had to organize them yourself, which was a nightmare because you had to find a group to be in and you had to organize a time, a date, a place. It was just too much. Like, they needed to introduce a system where you could like book slots instead of doing everything by email. Let's take it a step back. What did I actually do in third year in terms of modules and stuff? I did my major in pathology and then a minor in biochemistry, and I also took the course called BBS, biological and biomedical sciences, over like straight pathology where you do a project, a research project. I did a dissertation. Yeah, so if you're doing a project, you would have had more contact time because you would have been in like a research group in a lab. For me though, I did a dissertation and that was like me writing it and reading and stuff, so I didn't have a lot of contact time, and I was totally fine with that because I knew how I needed to organize my days. I knew I needed to get stuff done, and I'd be on it. But the thing I was just a bit like about was the whole organizing supervisions system that wasn't really in place. I also think because I had some of my teaching done within biochemistry and some did within pathology, I could directly compare them. So biochemistry, 100% so organized, whereas pathology, I felt it was disorganized. Yeah, I'm sorry, but there was just no continuity. So you'd have lectures with specialists, experts in their field. Great, love that. They know exactly what they're talking about. But it was just very much detail, detail, detail. And as a student trying to learn stuff, you're sitting there like, what are the main concepts? What am I supposed to take away from this? So as much as they were experts talking to you about their research, that's incredible. That's such a privilege to have been taught by them. But the way it was taught was sometimes not the best, you know? And also with the continuity thing, you'd have one lecture on one topic that was so specific, but then you get another expert coming in giving you the same amount of detail, if not more detail, about their subject. And then the next lecture you go into, it's a different topic again, just as much detail. There were no lecture series. A lecture series would be like 1 or 2 lectures max, and you had a huge amount of information to absorb, try and understand and learn, and also do extra reading for as well. So it was a bit just like, whoa, that was just a lot. Okay, I felt like there needed to be an academic person or something who you can go to and they will be like, this is what the course is designed to do, this is why we've laid it out like this. There was none of that, and someone to talk you through something sometimes would have been nice. And obviously that's what supervision is for, but as I said, it was just very hard to organize everything yourself. I think the clearest demonstration of the fact that my department was quite disorganized was the fact that there was quite a stark difference between the number of essays I wrote and the number of essays that I got back with feedback. So for biochemistry, I wrote like 1 essay because my biochemistry module overlapped quite significantly with what I did in pathology. I submitted the essay and I got feedback. Great, I was very happy with that. In my pathology module, I did 2 kind of streams. So I had cancer and genetics as one and then immunology as the other. For immunology, I didn't submit that many essays. I counted and I wrote it down because I wanted actual figures here. I wrote 7 essays. I submitted 4. I don't know why I didn't submit 3. I think it was because I didn't proofread them, so I just never submitted them. I wrote 7, submitted 4, and I got 4 back with feedback, so that's great. I think these 4 essays were all to like the same person. The person that marked my essays for that was really useful. However, my cancer and genetic disease module, I went a bit OTT with the amount of essays I wrote. I wrote 18 essays. I was always writing essays, but the number I got back is quite shocking. Are you ready for this? I got 5 out of the 18 essays that I wrote back. So I wasn't very happy with that. If I write an essay and I submit it, it would be nice to have a bit of feedback, even if it's just a grade or just like a, oh, this is good or this is bad, you know, like something, but nothing, you know? I was a bit disappointed with that. That is literally like my main critique out of the whole 3 years. I just need to get that off my chest. I think the reason, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for them because I don't think there should be an excuse for that. I just think that because we were being lectured by specialists and researchers that, yes, are very busy themselves, I get that, but we're busy as students too, you know, everyone is busy. Their research is definitely their priority, not the students. I get that, okay, that's fine, but part of your job is to like give supervisions, and if you're happy to give supervisions, you're happy to mark essays. I don't know, I don't know. I'm just saying what I'm saying, I'm just putting it out there. And that literally might just be in my department. I'm hoping that's just in my department, but it's from my experience. On a more positive note, so when you write a dissertation, you do have a dissertation supervisor. My supervisor was so good, so useful. They were like an expert in the field, like a name in the field. And I remember being like, wow, I'm having supervisions with this guy who basically discovered one of the things that I'm learning about. That for me was mind-blowing. Another thing that was kind of different just 2nd and 1st year was mock exams. I didn't have any mock exams in 3rd year, and I thought that was going to be the reason why I wouldn't do as well as 2nd and 1st year. Obviously I wrote practice essays under timed conditions in my room. I made myself do that. I was like, you have to do this. But I never gave myself a full proper mock. That was really worrying for me. Even though I had a huge love-hate relationship with mocks, I'd hate it because I'd come back to university at the start of every term having exams to do and feeling really anxious and worried and stressed about them. But I loved them because I loved the feedback, I loved the practice, and it would always make me feel better about myself because I would always do better than I thought I did. But I think the most important thing was that I practiced essays. Self-discipline is key here. And as I said at the very start, what you get out of education is what you put in and your mindset. Right, so that's like academics. And that was what I wanted to be the focus of this video. But obviously I wanted to touch on some other things like social life, homesickness, pastorally care, stuff like that. Because that is obviously the whole package at university. It's not just about the studying. So in terms of social life, taking it back to like 1st year, I was super homesick. I was very much on the verge of wanting to quit and go home. I don't drink, I'm not very good at socializing and meeting new people, so it was a super hard time. I was crying for the majority of my freshers weeks. Obviously the people you meet during freshers week are not the people that you'll be friends with throughout the whole time. I found like my best friends or the people that I was closest with outside of freshers week. Like, I've never been in a friendship group and I'm fine with that. And obviously, yes, in my college I didn't know that many people at all, just because I'm not that kind of person. I like being independent and just getting on with what I want to do. But I did make, and I have made, incredible friendships, and I put a lot of that down to dance. In second year when I found QTAS, they definitely took my uni and Cambridge experience to another level. I should just mention that yes, I was very lucky as well. I had the best of both worlds. I could study and I could dance, which is something I love, alongside each other. My closest friends in college were the Bionetskis. Such an amazing group of people. All of us were girls by the end of it. Girl power, you know, girls in science. And especially, like, you guys know Izzy. She's not in a lot of my videos because she doesn't really like to be. But Izzy, we're just the blonde and brunette version of each other. We have the same mentality. We're just literally the same person, but different hair colors. I honestly love that girl. Cambridge, like, again, wouldn't have been the same without Izzy, so yeah, friends for life. Some other small things that I wanted to mention about university. So obviously you become more independent as a person. I never thought I'd like the independence. I'm very much a home person. However, I loved it more than I ever thought I would. The homesickness was very, very bad at the start, and it would be quite bad if I was doing exams or if I was stressed, you know. But over the 3 years, I can probably say now that I don't get really homesick anymore. I can go away, and yes, I miss home, but I don't cry about it anymore. I can definitely say on behalf of the university that the pastoral care, or like the support systems in place if you're stressed and everything like that, are so good. And considering when I was in freshers week and I was very much wanting to like leave and just go home, I received incredible support in that first week and throughout my whole year essentially. The university itself is in a collegiate system made up of lots of different colleges. I was at Queen's. I'm biased and I'm gonna say Queen's is like the best. The only thing I would say was that Queen's, I think, is known for being on the pricier side. The rooms are quite expensive. They are kind of like comparable to London prices, and obviously like I can't change that. It just adds to my debt. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. Obviously they don't advertise that on their website. They don't tell you whether they're like gonna charge you a lot for your room. But yeah, Queen's is quite expensive. The food, oh, I should mention the food. I obviously went shopping myself and cooked basically all my meals, but obviously it's not for everyone. I did like try food when I went to the formals, like the posh dinners. I think the food, the vegan food, plant-based options, even vegetarian options were really good. I tried some different colleges. I was impressed, I was happy. At Queen's, a general trend that I noticed was like the food got better as I was there, and then in third year, end of second year, it kind of dropped. I think that was a chef change, so that might be the reason why the food didn't get that good at the end. But anyway, I'm sorry this video is gonna be so long, but I just thought, as I said, I wanted to like mash it all together and put it in one place. Career wise, I've obviously come out of uni and I'm really confused. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think one of the things that I didn't really maybe take advantage of or use as much as I could have was the career service. A lot of you guys have commented on my videos being like, oh, university doesn't actually prepare you for adulthood or like jobs, which I kind of disagree with, because at uni, like Cambridge anyway, I know that they have a career service and I know that they do so much for you, and they help you get like interviews, they help you with your CV, they help you get internships, and that's not really what I've done. I didn't really use any of that, and I could have, but I just never found the time to do that. So I will say on behalf of the university that I think the career service is great. I've had such great things from my friends. My individual situation is that I'm just very confused myself, and if I don't know the answer, if I don't know what I want to do, then as much as people tell me what to do or give me advice, it's not gonna help me get a job, if you know what I mean. Another thing is access and diversity at the university. It does still have a lot of students who come from very privileged backgrounds, private schools, even grammar schools. Like, I am not from a private school, I'm from a grammar school, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that I am not privileged. Like, I'm very lucky to be in the situation that I am in. I know for a fact that there is a lot more being done to open access to university, but I also know that there is still more that could be done, but I think that's hopefully gonna come with time. I think the university itself, obviously there are some things that are very traditional and some things that I would say are quite backward. Like, for example, one of the prime examples would be the ranking system. Whether or not I agree with it, I still don't really know. I'm probably erring on the side of I don't agree with it, because as soon as you step into that place, you are ranked. I know that you're ranked at like interview. You are then also ranked in like mock exams at the end of your year, at the end of your degree, you get ranked. Personally, I think it kind of just breeds unhealthy competition, and even if you're not trying to make it competition, if you get it in your head that you're being ranked or you're working to but working against your friends when it should be collaborative, I don't think that's a good thing. I obviously didn't really try and think about it too much because I didn't want to make it a competition, but it's a bit like it's not really necessary. Yes, they can obviously keep that for their records themselves, but to publicize it and put it out somewhere, I have this platform and the comment section I always leave open for you guys to ask me questions or to discuss and like have healthy debates about things. Like, what do you think is right, what do you think is wrong, you know? That's a lot about the university in one video. I'm sorry, again, it will be long. I will try and put timestamps to different things so you can listen to what you want to. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video and you learned something or you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, and as I said, comment down below. You can subscribe if you want to see where my life goes next. But yeah, to summarize, I would say that if you want to apply to Cambridge, let's say, because this is what the video is about, if you want to apply to Cambridge, I'd say go for it. And then the second thing I want to say is, obviously university is an investment, and I think it's definitely what you put into it. So if you want to do well at university, definitely put your all into it. Academically is a challenge. I've been in tears, I've been through very stressful periods, but it was all kind of worth it, I can definitely say. And yeah, you meet amazing people. You can still go clubbing, drink water and not drink alcohol, be a teetotal vegan like me and still have an amazing time. You know, I loved it, and I highly recommend it to any of you guys that want to study and enjoy studying and want to take learning and your education further. Is that like too much? I'm not trying to make a speech here, but you know, I'm just trying to, I hope I've convinced you guys to like apply and to go for your dreams and what you want, but I also wanted to be realistic at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling now because this video was so long, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. What am I doing? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'll speak to you very soon in another one. Bye. Oh, let's hit it again. Bye.